We'll be hearing from three men, each hoping to be the leader of the next UK government in the first election debate.
Well, the first thing that really struck me was the number of stories that they were telling. Stories are just such a great way of connecting with audiences, and in particular with television.
I was in a factory in my own city where I'm an MP in Sheffield.
I was in Plymouth recently.
I met a young man in London the other day.
Now, I did some counting of the stories being used back there. David Cameron, by far top of the pops.
I went to Crosby the other day and I was talking to a woman there who had been burgled by someone.
Nick Clegg was second with 3 stories.
I was at in a hospital, a paediatric hospital in Cardiff a few months ago.
But then at the bottom of the charts came unfortunate Gordon Brown. I thought that Clegg won on sound bites. He had some great ones.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Clegg.
I'm not sure if you're like me, but the more they attack each other, the more they sound exactly the same.
Cameron had 1.
Well, our police officers should be crime fighters, not form fillers.
Absolutely.
And Brown had 1, which had obviously been given to him, I suspect, by the wonderful Lord Mandelson.
You can't airbrush your policies, even although you can airbrush your posters.
I thought Clegg was by far the winner. He looked really at ease with himself.
I'm not allowed to ask you questions, that's against the rules, but just nod if... Yeah, OK, good.
And he really seemed to be trying the hardest to engage with the people at home. It was a very simple thing, but just staring at the camera when he was answering questions, you really felt that he was reaching out to you.
Don't let them tell you that the only choice is between 2 old parties who've been playing pass the parcel with your government for 65 years now.
Style is always a balancing act, and I thought that Brown actually came over, particularly in his speeches, he came over as very strong and authoritative and confident in his deep voice.
We have got to make a decision now about how we secure the recovery this year. We've got to make a decision about whether we put funds into the economy or take funds out of the economy.
However, when he wasn't speaking, that kind of turned into arrogance. And you then saw whenever anyone else was talking, he was either scribbling his own notes, or if not, he was smirking. And there were a couple of occasions where he interrupted people as well.
Yes, of course, but Gordon, let me give you an example.
Will you match our funding on the police? The answer is no from your manifesto.
Let me give you a very good example.
This is not question
Let
time.
Mr. Cameron answer your point, Mr. Brown.
It's answer time, David.
What matters?
With David Cameron, I thought he was by far the most courteous of the bunch. However, I did feel that he looked nervous. I thought that during his opening speech, his pitch was notably higher.
We can go on as we are, or we can say no, Britain can do much better.
And I noticed similar kind of anxiety signs setting in later on during some of the questioning, where I almost thought that he was looking at Nick Clegg and kind of thinking, God, you've stolen it tonight, haven't you? I think it's important to remember as well that the winner of the debates is not necessarily going to be the winner of the election. I think people might like what Clegg has said tonight and might respond well to him, but then they'll kind of think about their constituency, they'll think about who they really want to see in number 10. And so I don't think this is necessarily game over for anyone.